Welcome back to Tech Couture Podcast. I'm your host, Kabir Shah. Today, I'm speaking with Estelle. Estelle and her co-founder, Dave, founded Cake Members back in 2024. Think of Cake as an exclusive AMEX Black Card-like shopping experience meant for fashion. Partnered with over 100 brands, Cake allows consumers, the most loyal fans, to partner with their favorite brands. Shoppers get rewarded with exclusive invites and brand deals. Think of Cake really as this AMEX Black experience, where for $100 a year, you're getting access to some of the most unique experiences that brands have to offer. Brands, on the other hand, get access to the most loyal shoppers. Estelle modeled Cake for a shopping experience that her and women just like her want, having the perks that creators, influencers today have, while still getting access to the most exclusive and premium brands on the market. Cake is just getting started, and today we're talking all about how she got here, what's next. I'll toss it over to Estelle. Welcome in, Estelle. Thank you so much for hopping on to the Tech Couture Podcast. I'm excited to have you here.
Kabir, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And I'm not going to dox myself, but I live very close to this podcast studio.
So convenient.
Very convenient. So I appreciate it.
It's funny, this is the first time that we're talking on the podcast, but I first came across a brand about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. So had the pleasure of talking to your co-founder, Dave. Now I'm chatting with you. So it feels like a bit of a full circle moment. But for our listeners, can you just start by talking about what is Cake? Are we talking about a physical cake here? Are we eating?
Yes.
Like, what is this?
We are waiting to make t-shirts that say not a bakery. Okay, but the name came from the idea of having your cake and eating it too. It is a shopping app. It's a app first experience, but there are physical elements to it. So the headlines are that it's kind of like multi-brand retail plus your AMEX Black Card rewards.
Yeah.
So you get exclusive access, benefits, perks, and also monetary value to shop at all the best brands. And yeah. I think they're the best brands. Selfishly, I'll tell you a little bit more about who they are. But it's a private paid membership. So you pay to join, but you get this no-brainer value exchange where you get all of the special access plus it pays for itself times 100.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is really create a different relationship between brands and consumers. And I can get into the backstory a little bit if that's good place to go. So I come to this business as being the resident shopper that we're building it for. I'm really obsessed. I'm building it for myself. I'm building it for my friends. But the genesis of the company really came out of trying to figure out how to help brands with customer acquisition and engagement focused on the highest value set of customers. And I don't mean the top half of 1%. Who may have some brand loyalty to a luxury retailer and get invited to a fashion show. I'm talking about the top 20% of consumers who in this new world, they're buying luxury, like they probably own Prada, but they also shop at Zara and they rent out their closet and they shop at Net and Moda and they are inherently in it for the sport and the fun of shopping. But in this new world called the internet, they've completely disaggregated their spend because they don't go to the local department store anymore and shop at one retailer or sign up. Sorry, Bloomingdale's, if you're listening to this, but nobody's signing up for the Bloomingdale's brown bag rewards card anymore, right? Yeah. So how do you actually start to see from the brand perspective, really understand the shopper, not just for the 1 or 2 pairs of jeans that she bought directly from you, but for the totality of her spend across all these channels? And how in acquisition do you solve for that higher value customer? So the chairman of the company started a bunch of brands. He started Lids, the hat company. He started Rue La La, which, became a really big business helping luxury brands offload their excess inventory. And he came together with Dave, who you met. Yeah. My co-founder and my old colleague. So I worked for Dave when I was 22.
You started at WeWork.
I started at WeWork. We both were at WeWork, and he started a couple companies in the tech space and sold them and came to WeWork and ended up being a big operator at the company, at $1 billion business rolling up to him. And I was doing sales as my first job out of college. And he kind of tapped me on the shoulder and I joined his team and worked directly for him for 1.5 years. And that was incredible. He's the best guy. good to like your business partner. Highly recommended. And then I went on after WeWork to an early stage venture capital fund. We actually invested in Cake when it was an idea, so I cannot say it was my bright idea.
Yeah.
But the general construct of Cake, which is about seeing and celebrating high value shoppers and giving the brands the power to activate and engage those shoppers in a really efficient way, like a way that really makes sense for their business, but is also awesome enough for the shopper that they want to commit energy and attention to the channel so you don't lose them. That construct could be applied to anything, but they started to talk about the brands and the shopper, and it was just so obviously me. I was like, wait a minute, those are my brands. So anyway, that's why I'm here, and it's been really fun.
So a couple different ways we can go with this, but I am curious, like, you had invested into Cake the first time around, and then you decided to actually join as an operator, as a founder.
Yeah.
Talk real quick about, one, why were you so compelled to invest money into Cake? Like, what was the vision that Dave sold to you, and that really you were like, okay, not only am I going to invest in this, but I'm actually going to come in and I'm going to help you make this a reality and build it into what it can be.
When you're an investor at the early stage, the way that it works is you're taking moonshots with all of these companies, right? We were investing $1 million into companies as their first check.
Yeah.
They hadn't even built a product yet sometimes. Sometimes they had a little bit of traction, but not a lot. And at that stage, you get in early and you can own a lot of a business for not a lot of money. But you hope that like 3 of every 10 companies hits big.
Yeah.
The rest of them are going to fail or basically return what you invested, right? So there's this like famous investor called Fred Wilson, and he has this a third thing. It's like probably a 15-year-old article at this point. So you have to believe every company can be massive. But what ends up happening is most companies fail, and then you have a few winners, and that returns the whole fund. And at Boston Seed, we had some winners in the past. DraftKings, we were first check into DraftKings, for example. And you start to have pattern recognition on just like what teams are really nailing it. And you start to see where there were red flags and what doesn't work. I wasn't actually actively aspiring to go be on one of these teams, but I love founders and I love startups, and I missed being on the operating side and building something. But really, it felt like a very serendipitous moment. I was going to stay on and do another, fund and do that. It's a lot easier to be on the sidelines of building a company than it is to build a company. I'll tell you that much. But so anyway, it felt very serendipitous. We were in a boardroom context. We invested in the company for a couple of reasons. We got it from a customer standpoint, what they were trying to do. Basically, what we do at Cake is we tell brands, hey, instead of paying Mark Zuckerberg to acquire your customer, we're going to aggregate your top customers. They're going to have the highest order values and the most likely to repeat. And that's the customer you really want. You don't want the customer that's going to come shop once and never return, at a sale price, right? So we're going to create a community where we're actually protecting your brand, elevating your brand on a pedestal. We're going to make it extremely economically efficient for you. And what we do is we say, hey, instead of paying Mark, like I said, incentivize that high value customer to shop directly in this closed walled garden dynamic, but it's a pay for performance only. Like, we don't charge brands anything to participate. We have them invest in the channel. So we create this flywheel where our business model is, okay, we charge members a membership. That's enough, though, that it unlocks all of these privileges that are funded by the brands. But it makes sense for the brands because it's not in this crazy, unsustainable dynamic. And just to take a step back, like, the fashion world, if you're listening to this podcast, you already know it's a big space, so I don't need to belabor the point there. But the reality is, these brands are going through it, and not every brand could be Reformation. Not every brand can be Kylie Cosmetics.
They're tight margins as is.
They're tight margins, and especially for fashion brands, they're constantly evolving. There's seasonality dynamics. There's excess inventory. There's all these things that they're up against. Tariffs. You've got Matches Fashion and Saks. Saks owes luxury brands $700 million. Like, they owe, right? And they're filing for bankruptcy, and they're going to go through it, and brands will continue to work with them. And that's brands that sell to them on a wholesale margin. So our whole focus is how do you create an awesome channel for consumer brands? And that really resonated with us. The other thing that resonated with us was that customer reality. When you hear it, it clicks. Like, how do you actually create something that's going to hold the customer's attention over time? And how do you create a channel that's focused on the customer and all the awesome things they want to do? Not just trying to sell them one brand or one retailer. Like, what would that look like? And when they started to describe it, it just felt so obvious. I wanted it as a consumer, and I wanted to contribute to it because I had a lot of ideas, and I felt like I knew what right looked like, and I knew what wrong looked like, and what brands were cool, and so it just felt like this natural moment. That was a long answer, but that's the truth.
I think everyone knows what Cake is now. You can go away, you can download it, you can sign up. Well, it's invite only, but you get the gist.
Yes, you can apply, and you can also DM me. And it's not a you can't sit with us brand.
Yeah.
Like, we are not about you're not cool enough to join this.
But it is about like having that layer of intentional friction so that brands are getting the most coveted, most loyal customers. Whereas at the same time, you want the people in that ecosystem who are going to add back into that ecosystem, who are going to continue to participate as well.
Absolutely. And we have to protect and covet the brands a little bit, so we can't just spread it to the whole world and, divulge all secrets. It has to be, and yes, we have parties and they're invite all and blah, blah, blah. But it's meant to be warm. It's meant to give more to shoppers. Yeah. It's meant to be something that scales with shoppers. So yeah, hit me up. I love to share.
I spoke about this idea of customer loyalty on a different episode. It was an episode with this company called Redium. They came on. Check it out if you haven't listened to it. But the idea holds similarly. It being so much more expensive for brands today, more than ever before, to actually go out and acquire customers, let alone have them continue to stay in the brand environment, right? Mm-hmm. There is no longer, like you talked about, in the old days of these boutique retailers, they had specialty loyalty programs, etc. Today's e-commerce world and omnichannel world in general is so fragmented. So having a platform like Cake providing this real solution to brands, I really, one, I'm very bullish on it. But two, I really do understand the importance of it as well, both from an investor lens, and I'm excited to see you dive into it. But talking about the customer loyalty aspect, why are consumers investing into not only the brands that are on Cake, but Cake itself, right? Like, why would I, as a consumer, come onto your platform versus any other option out there?
It's a good question. And I think, listen, the short answer is there's stuff on Cake that you can't get anywhere else. It's not going to be in your AMEX offers. It's not going to be, on Rakuten. It's like real meaningful value. The minimum offer we have on Cake is $50. Yeah. We have $600 off offers. We have discounts to brands. You can buy new stuff with these offers. And then we give you all this awesome. We essentially treat the person that does the actual shopping like an influencer. Yeah. Instead of the influencer who doesn't actually buy anything. Do you know what I mean? And we love influencers, and they're here, and we think they're a really key piece of how brands are navigating this world of acquisition too. But it's really about that girl that's like, I deserve a perk. Yeah. When you tell the customer that you're under rewarded, they intuitively understand it. Right. So for customers, they come to Cake and they get things that they can't get elsewhere. They get literally thousands of dollars in shopping credits. Yeah. They get a cute gift when they join that's worth the price of the membership. They get invites to events where there's awesome stuff. And the crazy thing is, even high quality brands, when they invite their customer, so not press, not PR, not the people they pay to show up, but when they invite the customer to their event, customers who come in and, make a haul in their store are not necessarily used to engaging with the brand on a community level. So what we see is we host events with brands fund them because we bring our community to it and drive transactions for them and all this brand love. And sometimes the brands will invite their top customers in, and literally no one RSVPs from their customer list. When we send out an invite people a couple hundred RSVPs in the first 10 minutes. We have to shut down the invite, and we just move on from there. So there's something about how we treat the customer that is different on top of the deals. Essentially, that's the dirty word. It's value. Like it pays for itself, guys, on one purchase. But then there's this added access, which really, it's a private sample sale once a month that you cannot get unless you're a Cake member. And it's before stuff goes on sale at $260, like by 2 years. It's a gift with purchase. It's first access to shop a new stud collection. Like, that's amazing if you care about those brands, right? It might be an exclusive product drop, which hopefully we have coming up very soon. It's little things, it's style insights. It could be a webinar with a stylist or a community member. And then there's an added thing, which is there's a community layer. So one of our most shopped elements of the app is members can shop a member purchases feed. Okay. So we publish a select few of every day's member purchases, and it's the most engaged with, most purchased off of part of our entire experience. And there's a million other ways to shop on Cake. But there's this real sense that people are in a community with other, stylish, like-minded shoppers, and they want to know what the cool girl that, goes to MoMA on the weekend and like knows the coolest restaurant in Brooklyn is shopping for. Not necessarily like everybody else on the internet. You know what I mean? So there's just this insider element. And
I love that it's like hyper curated to fashion, to the needs of those top 1% of shoppers, those who are truly engaged with the brands, who want to be a part of this whole brand experience, to which, you went into all of the ins and outs of that.
We need to get you on there, by the way. It is very women oriented, I will tell you that. But there are brands that have men's. So we're gonna.
I would love nothing more than that. I tell a lot of the shopping apps, a lot of the founders I come on, we need some way to have, male consumers on there. I will be the test dummy. So Estelle,
you're more than the dummy. You're the expert.
I'm the expert.
Let's do it. My little brother has volunteered to start Cake Men's. I'm like, in due time, my friend. In due time.
When I was talking with some friends about Cake before this, I explained it to them as, think of Cake as this AMEX Black Card built for fashion. Yes, you pay $100, and I think to some people that might be like, why am I paying to then shop and pay brands? But would you say like that was sort of the intention when you were thinking about how to create this business of, we're going to create this almost exclusive credit card, right? Just for our fashion shoppers.
You could totally have from a venture tech perspective, you could have started this business as a credit card. Like, that's what BILT Rewards is doing to some extent, but in a different space. People who should be Cake members are still like $100 to join a shop. If you make one purchase, you make your money back, right? And you can we've launched, a new version. We used to limit the amount that you could use a year. That was still like thousands of dollars in value. Now it's unlimited. Spoiler alert, you heard it here first. And you could, we have people that are buying $10,000 diamond necklaces at a brand that has never discounted before. And they're giving you a one-time incentive that's 25% off. They're saving $2,500 on a purchase they would have made anyway. Right? So the $100 is important for us because for this all to work, it has to be an ecosystem where every player in it can win. Brands have to be able to win. They're giving away margin as a benefit to the shopper. They can only do that if it's a qualified customer, if it's somebody that actually likes to shop and spends at these brands. And there's brands at all ranges of the price point. We have amazing brands like Hill House, who are not at the luxury, $300 pair of jeans price point. Maybe they're in that range, but you can buy something for under $200 from Hill House and get a really great quality item. And then we have luxury brands that are at the high end of the spectrum, but it should pay for itself. Like that, the goal is not to swindle consumers, but it does have to, be something that you invest in. Otherwise it's not going to work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I saw recently you all onboarded, was it Brooklinen? So expanding a little bit outside of traditional fashion. Talk about some of the maybe non-traditional fashion brands, let's call it, that are on there, like Brooklyn and
you guys, we're gonna bring you so many perks. I'm so excited. So yes, we started with fashion and some beauty brands, and from a business standpoint, the motion with those brands is very similar. The kind of their thought process is similar. We brought in home probably 6 months into our journey. We brought in a brand called Parachute Home, which is an incredible homeware brand, and it quickly became one of our more popular brands. The same person that is buying athleisure and jeans and fancy dresses for weddings is also shopping for their significant other. They're shopping for their kid or their niece. They're buying for their apartment or their home. I hate to now go back to women when women win every game, but women control 75% of this type of spend, right? They're spending beyond their reach. They're influencing what their friends are purchasing. So yes, we have fashion, beauty. We have some home brands now. We just launched Brooklyn, which is huge. And you can see that expanding. We give you comped classes to well-known fitness studios.
Yeah.
Pays for itself. Yep. Right? We're working with med spas. There was a party the other day, and I'm not saying we're promoting Botox, but they were giving free Botox to our members, right? Just for being them.
Needless to say, you started in fashion, but the everyday consumer, the top fans, you're getting much more than just your favorite fashion label. They're expanding everywhere, essentially.
Yeah, we're expanding. I think the big one, too, is wellness. Like, this person cares about what they put in their body. They care about supplements. They might even be shopping supplements like it's a sport. Like, it's fun for them to buy the Let Me Sleep or the new. So we haven't quite tapped into that fully yet, but there's definitely appetite there. So we're trying. What else do you want to see there? Like, what would your dream brand be?
Well, you tell me. Like, you guys had some big launches today, right? Yes. Like, so for those who are listening for the first time, but also for any of our cake listeners, you might want to head to the app and check this out. So, Estelle, talk a little bit about what's sort of in store for the future. I guess you brought the future to today, but what are some exciting things on the platform?
Yes. Okay. So today, listen, we're a year and a half into being live
already,
and I know it seems like a long time. I like being young. It's fun to be like, we're 6 months old, and then you get older and you get real, and this responsibilities start rolling in, you know what I mean? But anyway, we started with a very simple user experience. It was brands, and it was basically these insane exclusive offers, but we had 30 brands when we launched. Now we have over 120 brands. We launch brands like every week, couple a week at this point, and we have all these new features. We didn't have a lot of discovery functionality when we launched, and we built all that in. What we launched today is the ability to shop by category on Cake. So all the brands on Cake, you actually shop them directly, just with these things that you get through us, and there's an elegant way that all of that occurs and is tracked and all the fun stuff. But we never presented the ability to, like, you'd go on Shopbop, see who's carrying jeans. You had to do the hard work up until this point of opening 12 tabs and figuring that out for yourself, or you had to be really committed to our editorial perspective, which a lot of shoppers are. But if you're like me, you look at 24 white t-shirts before you pick one that you like. That's how women shop. Like, it's a sport. Everybody's particular. Everybody has taste. So that was a major feat. So I won't tell you how we're doing this, but we've managed to, even though we're working with brands on a D2C basis, basically present them in the context of a multi-brand retailer. And that's just an awesome add-on, for our members. The other thing we did was we took the gloves off. We took the training wheels off the members. Okay. When you only had 30 brands, if we gave members unlimited access to shop all the brands, they'd burn through them pretty quick.
Sure.
Now we have 120, and we have repeat perks with brands. We have all these other moments for them. So you can shop every cake card if you want to.
Every cake card now.
Every cake card, unlimited. And yes, we did use a meme of Lindsay Lohan in Mean Girls saying the limit does not exist in our announcement of it. But it's super exciting. Wow. So we're stoked.
Well, once I get the invite, I'm excited to check it out. I do want to wrap up though with some testimonials that we've gotten. We got back some words from Dave actually.
Really?
Yes.
Dave.
So I want to use this time to quickly get sort of your reaction. And Dave was a sport, so I appreciate him playing along with this. It is about you, unsurprisingly. So shall we hear it?
Me and Dave are really close, so this could make me emotional. Let's see how it goes. It's an audio file? Whoa!
Around the cake brand, what I'm personally most excited about is the way that we have kind of brought two ideas together, two feelings together that don't always go together. And really Estelle is the architect of this and the person who has made this happen. You know, we wanted to build something that feels really special and exclusive, and at the same time feels really warm and welcoming and kind. And those two things don't always go together. Sometimes when things are exclusive, they can wind up feeling a little bit snobby or a little bit off-putting. And in our case, it was so important to bring that to life in a way that feels really human and warm and just attentive. And Estelle is the perfect person to kind of marry those things, you know, something that feels elevated and chic and cool. I think that Estelle has brought those things together in the cake brand in the most amazing way. And I think that that is really core to our vision for, you know, what this is that we're building.
Struggle with taking compliments, so this is hard for me. That was awesome.
From day one, Estelle personally handled all of the support emails. And the number of times...
I'm your customer service girls, guys.
A situation just got received by Estelle and then kind of played back in this incredibly attentive way that I'm describing, and the responses for that, it's really an incredible expression of what I'm describing, and it's an incredible expression of how committed she is to that and how much she cares about that and about the members and about how they feel about their experience on cake.
That's so nice.
And one last one.
I think everyone who meets Estelle knows that she's smart and cool and kind and attentive and all those things. What everyone may not know is how driven she is and that compete drive that she has. Like, you know, when she leans into something, she's going to really put everything behind that. And it's just, you know, it's amazing to be part of a team where everyone on the team at every level is working that way. And it's so important for the founders to be modeling that too. And Estelle is just at the front of the line on that, just always driving so that...
There you go. You have it. For all you listening, now you know everything you need to know about Estelle. But no, I mean, any quick thoughts on what Dave had to say?
I mean, listen, Dave's my hype guy. We do that to each other. You gotta, if you can have the luxury of not being a solo founder, it's incredible to have somebody that you trust on a deep, deep level. So I appreciate him. And yeah, listen, part of why it was easy to jump into the business was because the like hospitality element of it is very natural for me. And what I mean is it's really easy to get frustrated if somebody reaches out to you with a mean comment which sometimes happens in customer service. It's the nature of it. We all kind of expect customer service to fail. For me, intuitively, listen, I have plenty of things to work on, but I really want to win customers over always, even if they're mean. So it's fun for me to like lean into that. And so it's been really cool, you know, to do that piece of it and just try to make people's days better. Cause you know, it's good to do that. Life's hard.
Well, I think it's pretty clear. And I mean, I'm very bullish on cake, but I'm even more bullish on you as a founder, both you and Dave. And like Dave said, you're incredibly driven, but you care about the consumers, the customers, and you're in the relationship business, the human relationship business. And my hot take, if you want to call it that, is in this world of AI that we're all living through, and we all know it, human relationship business are ultimately the ones that are going to win And that's really where Cake excels. So where can people find you? Where can people find Cake? How do they get access to Cake? Like, what are we talking about here?
Text the code Kabir to me. No. Cakemembers.com and you can apply, but please just DM me. I have a hilarious Instagram name from high school. It's Estallion, Estallion. And I did have that name before Megan Thee Stallion made her Instagram name, and I do accidentally get tagged in her stuff all the time. Cake members, cake.members on Instagram. Reach out to me. I'm happy to invite you if you're interested. And there is a way to get in with before you pay the $100, just so you know. So you can enter the world of Cake. You just don't get the perks and privileges. So yeah, it's that's where I am, and I'm in New York, and I hope you join and come to an event and get Cake. We do have Cake at all our parties, and I'm so grateful.
Well, I want to get my hands on one of those. We're not a cake business.
Yeah, right. We're not a bakery.
No.
We do have cute little bags that say "Have your cake." There's a lot of good shit going on. Sorry, excuse my French.
We love the French. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening again. I'm your host, Kabir Shah. You're listening to Tech Couture. You can find us on Spotify, on Instagram, all that good stuff. And if you have any founders or investors, anyone who you want to listen to, just hit me up. And also, just hit up Estelle and Cake, and you know the rest. Estelle, thank you for coming on to the podcast. We should do this again.
We should do this again. And thank you for having me. You're amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.